Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast. I'm delighted to be joined today by an amazing guest called Chuck. He's founder and CEO of Mission Mercantile, Shopify brand founded in 2015, but in the game since 2007. Beautiful leather products can be found on their website. Chuck, welcome to the show. How are you?
Nick, thank you, man. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
You've had over 50,000 customers and you got a 4.9 star review rating as well for the business. How on earth do you build a company that people love that much and want to say so many amazing things about people like yourselves?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you first of all for that. That's very kind. It's one of our three tenets of the business: mythical customer care, remarkable products, and remarkable promise. So the mythical customer care is intentional. Um, we basically do things that other companies can't or don't want to do these days, especially now with AI. So personal touch, we reach out to people. They may email us a question, we may call them back and just chat with them for a few minutes about it. So we call it mythical customer care because it's the thing that we all want from support with a company, but it's almost impossible to find it.
I
So
mean, that's
that's
amazing.
why we do our
Yeah, yeah.
best.
And I warned you before we hit record. I'm going to ask loads of sub questions about this. I think it's incredible
Please.
the way people talk about your products and about the business. How, as a business, how do you afford to phone people, given that phone calls are the most expensive part of customer service, short of turning up at somebody's front door?
How do you afford not to?
It's a great answer.
I
That
mean,
is a great.
that's the biggest thing in the world. There's so much noise out there with business, especially
Mm,
direct to
yeah.
consumer e-commerce. How do
Mm,
you separate yourself? How can you afford not to give the kind of customer care that people want to make them keep coming back?
mm,
Nowadays, I mean, there's a lot of leather goods on the internet
yeah.
that are great products. There's companies that do a wonderful job marketing. They may even have a warranty of some sort. But how do you really separate yourself? You got to do the things that other people won't or can't do, which is
Mm.
take great care of your customers.
I
So
love that.
I don't see how you
Yeah.
can not do that.
I mean, it's a great answer. I don't think anyone's ever. I've been running the podcast nearly 6 years, episode every single week, and in fact two now. And I don't think anyone's ever said like, "How can you afford not to?" as a response to a question we asking, "How can
That's
you
kind of
afford to?"
sad, actually,
Yeah,
but
no,
good for us. Maybe it helps us stand out. So
yeah, yeah, and I absolutely love that. And a lot of businesses I talk to are lacking that USP. They refuse to go the extra mile, and they don't actually take the time to go. Do you know what? Our customers are really important. What does that do to your lifetime value by investing that much in your customers?
oh my gosh, where do you start?
Mm. It's a big question.
I mean, you start going down the list.
Mm,
When people trust you to come back, whether there was a problem with the product or not, whether it was a mistake or not, if know you're going to take great care of them, the way I think about it is the way Marriott used to run their business. And
yeah.
Marriott would say that not that they want to have any problems in any of their properties, but
Mm,
it was almost better because the customer got to see how they responded to it.
right.
They didn't ghost you. You
Mm,
know, we always tell people, thank you for choosing our leather goods, our handcrafted leather goods. If it's on the front end, we'll say, thank you for considering our handcrafted leather goods. So, what it does
mm,
for us is it builds what I think is relationships. And we see that typified in the high percentage of return customers we have. And we have customers in the 10 years that we've been in business who literally have bought thousands and thousands and
wow.
thousands of dollars
Yeah, yeah.
from us. And we treat the customer that just had their first purchase, bought their first leather product, just the same way as we did the people who had
Mm.
been buying from us for years. And I'll tell you a quick example of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Nick.
Please.
Back during COVID, when every company was getting hammered initially. I mean,
Mm.
initially, as soon as COVID hit,
Yeah, yeah.
you saw you saw the damage both in physical stores and online as well.
Mm,
So what we decided to do was we decided to do something counter. What we
mm,
did was we took our list of about the first 200 customers, 200 best customers that we had at the time, and it wasn't a big list. And we took them and we sent every one of them a free gift.
mm,
We just sent them a free leather good. And it ranged in value. Some got a $25 leather good, and some we sent a $300 leather good just to say,
mm,
thank you for your business. We really appreciate you sticking with us.
mm.
And you might need a little positive in your life at this time. So we sent it to them. And the responses we got were amazing. We got some funny responses. We got some great responses, which is, I can't believe you sent this to me.
Mm.
We get some funny responses, which we had a couple of kind of, I'm going to say angry, but a little miffed customers initially because they said, I didn't give you permission to charge my credit card. And where did this come from? And
Right.
then we called them back as
Those
we
are good
would. And they
problems.
said,
Those are good problems to
these are
have.
great
Like, they're
problems. I
fine.
said,
Yeah, yeah.
oh my gosh, it was the most amazing thing. So we like to do those
Mm.
things from time to time.
Amazing, amazing. I love the fact that I think you mentioned it at least twice, possibly three times since we've been, and we've only been recording, what, 5 minutes so far, just over 5 minutes. You've mentioned it several times that almost like whatever everyone else is doing, your first thought appears to be like, let's just do the opposite. And that is how marketing works. It's disruption. It's thinking laterally about what's going on. I guess you
It
guys almost
is.
kind of shy away from trying to like run as fast as everyone else and catch up. You're like, well, we'll just do our own thing.
A Absolutely. Well, it's a race to the bottom anyway.
Mm,
So
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to keep up. I mean, today with AI, I mean, AI is a disruptor right now
yeah.
in some good ways, but then also in
Mm,
some bad ways because
mhm.
every CRM platform wants you to automate the response and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all of those things.
And you're doing the
Well,
complete opposite, which is awesome.
we're
It's so
trying to do
cool.
the complete opposite,
Yeah.
and it works. And you know what we find out? The more you reach out, you become available to your
Mm.
customer, and you call them back from time to time as you feel like it's appropriate to do that.
Yep.
One is they're shocked to hear from you, but the second thing is that you find out over time if you start graphing it, actually your disgruntled customers, let's just call them,
Mm.
lessens because
Yeah, yeah.
they know when they do business with you and come back that you're going to
Mm.
take great care of them rather than kind of the assumption that a lot of customers take online today, which is you're going to screw me.
Mm.
You're going to take advantage of me. I know you are. I just know you are.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
shocked when you go, hello, this is Chuck from Mission Mercantile, just giving you a ring real quick to talk to you about your question. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you called me. And they love it.
And okay, so you just said something I think again really interesting is that you phone them as the founder, the CEO, the owner, whatever sort of
Oh, yeah,
title. You phone them directly and say, "Look, it's my business, and you're not happy, and I really want to get to the bottom as to why." I mean, there's nothing more powerful that the business could
absolutely.
possibly do than have you on the phone saying that.
Well, thank you, by the way. All
Mm.
our team is awesome at what they
Yeah,
do,
yeah, I'm
but
sure they are. Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. So,
starts, it starts with me. And
yeah.
I actually have a reminder on my calendar every Friday to reach out and call 3 customers just to thank them for their
Mm.
business. And I'm not talking
Wow.
about our top customers. They're just kind of random, just to
Yeah, yeah.
call them and say, "Hey, I really appreciate that," you know?
Mm.
And I think most of them go, "Who's this Chuck guy? Who's he calling? Why is he calling me?
Same
What's Mission
question I asked
Mercantile?"
about an hour ago was like, right, I'm doing a podcast. Who's Chuck? And then started looking up the business a bit and
Exactly.
check the show notes and that sort of thing. But I mean, I think it's amazing that personal touch has survived to 2026 that we're in now, and moving forwards. And I guess for some businesses that you say it's a race to the bottom. Some businesses are racing to the bottom on price, and they're doing it so aggressively and so
Yes.
rapidly. They hence one of my first questions. They can't actually afford to spend any money like contacting customers. If a
Right.
customer reaches out, it's like there's basically the profit from their order. Like we've basically lost it. How do you guys therefore go about pricing your, again, I mentioned their products are beautiful. Like, I mean, they look incredible in terms of the design on
Oh,
them, and
thank you.
you can see the craftsmanship. Just some of them are in the background as well. If you're not watching this on video, guys, I highly suggest going on our YouTube channel or check out one of our socials to see the backdrop. But the products are beautiful. How do you go about
Mm,
working out the price of the product once you get into the region of like, we're not the cheapest, we don't want to be the mega
right.
premium, but how do you find that balancing point per product?
Well, first of all, to me, it's about value.
Mm.
Um, it's all about there's several factors. One is you have to keep an eye on what your real competition is charging for their products.
Sure.
And typically for us, that goes from 30 to 40% more up to 2 to more X
Mm.
times what we charge. And so because we make all of our products in our own shops, they're all
Nice.
uniquely ours. We design them and we source the leather, we source all the
Mm.
materials, the hardware, the brass,
Wow.
everything on it. We have as much control as you can possibly on
Yeah.
not only, your cost, but also your quality. So you know
Sure.
what's in it. So our goal from day one, I wanted to create and deliver the greatest value that I
Mm.
could see in the leather goods business. So you buy a $500 leather goods product from us. I really want you to be buying an eight or $900 product, honestly,
Nice.
from what you
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
And what's incredible is that we really never tout that, you know, but
Mm.
we have reviews all the time that says, "Oh my gosh, you're way underpricing this product. This is a $1,500 bag," and that
Wow.
makes us happy. That makes us
Yeah.
happy. But we know that quality begins with the materials, and then it continues all the way through your craftsmanship. And then my background in manufacturing was I spent almost 10 years with Procter and Gamble, which is I think one of the
Mm.
best manufacturers in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So what we learned was to do it right the first time. There was never enough time to do it right the second time. So you make it right. And then later when you
Mm.
deliver this to your product to your customer, you know your cost, of course. You know the markup that you need to have in order to be able to deliver the services and everything that you get, you know, including, a lifetime promise. If the product ever
Mm.
fails because of materials or craftsmanship and that sort of thing, we're going to stand behind it
Yeah.
and either repair or replace it. What's amazing to me, Nick, is that when you look at huge, huge brands like Louis Vuitton and Yves Saint Laurent or even Coach or any of these big brands,
Mm.
none of them have lifetime promises.
Yeah, yeah.
And the question is, you're spending three to $5,000 on a bag. Why would you
Mm.
not stand behind it with some kind of promise?
I guess
You
they
know,
they probably want you to buy another one. Having looked at the accounts of one or two of these big companies over the years, they probably do want you just to buy another one. So actually, a lifetime guarantee is terrible news to them, but they're
absolutely.
totally different incentivized to what you guys are doing. So yeah,
They
no, I
want you to
hear you.
buy
It's
another one
amazing.
or
Mm.
exactly, that's what they wanna do, and, I love the brands, I mean, they're beautiful,
Mm.
gorgeous brands, but there's really nothing that sets them aside even from materials or
Yeah, yeah,
craftsmanship than it does, the logo. But with that said, I'm thinking at least give some sort of promise.
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
to me,
I
you're only
guess
as good as your remarkable product,
yeah.
your remarkable promise, and your what we call our mythical customer care.
Mm.
That's the only 3 things that matter, right?
I just want to interrupt today's episode to tell you about some big news for Shopify merchants. Yotpo, which you might be using, is sunsetting its email and SMS products. You may have got an email from them, and if you haven't, this might be the first time you're hearing about this. So if you have been using them, then you might be wondering what's next. Well, our sponsor Seguno has you covered. Seguno is the most deeply integrated email marketing platform for Shopify and makes switching really, really simple with hands-on onboarding, migration help, and deliverability expertise. Right now, with code WWS20, you get 20% off your first 3 months with Seguno. So don't let your marketing skip a beat. Switch to Seguno today at seguno.com/winning with Shopify. Yeah, yeah. I love that you call it mythical customer care. That is awesome. With
Thank
with
you.
the products, the fact that you guys offer a lifetime guarantee, I've suggested this to brands we work with before, and it scares them. And so my question really
Yeah.
is, because you manufacture your own products, it must make some of the things that, like, economically and financially within the business so much more viable for you guys, because you don't have to pay someone to
Yes.
repair it. You don't have to send a new product out. Whatever they send you, we're manufacturing another however many today, tomorrow, next week. Well, we could just repair this one as part of that process. We could replace a bit of leather or a bit of the product, the actual I've completely lost the word now, but the material, that's it, the material of the product, you can just
Uh,
replace the section that you need to, or the part of that, like, at the panel, almost like a car, like, replacing the bonnet with another bonnet that fits this, or you just make one, which must make your economics so much better to be able to go, well, if everybody's saying that this new product in the market's amazing because it's got an extra pocket or a different way of carrying it, or it's a slightly different shape, well, guys, we'll just make one and put it on the Shopify store and see what happens, right? You must have so much more control, both economically and also creatively, the creativity that goes into products.
you do.
Mm.
Absolutely, and that's why I do it. I really wouldn't have anyone else make our products for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're doing repairs, you made it, you know how it works. Yeah,
Mm.
you've gotta take the bag apart often and then replace it back to first quality, for them.
Mm.
But it is so much more, possible, so much more viable to do that.
Mm.
Imagine if you didn't do that yourself and you have your own, your third party fulfillment, third party
Yeah.
warehouse or whatever.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they get a product back, they obviously don't have the ability, the
Yeah.
capacity to
They don't
go
want
do
it.
that.
It's at the wrong place.
They
It's
don't
good for
want
the
it.
customer, but it's in the wrong
No,
place now,
it's
isn't it?
exactly, exactly.
Mm.
And most of the repairs that we do that people come back to aren't covered by warranty
Mm.
because maybe they sent it to the airport and the baggage system dismantled it, and we're
Yeah, we've
going,
all had
"Oh
that.
my gosh, this is horrible." We say,
Mm.
"Send it back to us, and for a very reasonable price, we'll fix it for you back." That's really the advantage of high quality, well made products is
Mm.
that they are repairable, they are fixable, as opposed to your nylon bag that just you go, well, that's just sad, and I'll
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
buy another one. So even when customers make a mistake
Mhm.
and they do something, they get a pin mark on something, or there's other kind of damage or whatever, we don't tell them just go pound sand. We say, well,
Yeah.
let's see what we can do to take great care of you. And then, of
Cool.
course, if we have a problem with the product itself and it's our responsibility, we take ownership for it and we say,
Yeah,
send
yeah,
it
of
back
course.
and we're either going to repair it or replace it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you can afford to do that as a business, and I think you guys are just in the right position where you're charging enough per product that the economics mean it's worth us putting that time in. As I said, some brands it's not, but also you're in a sense you're undercutting your competitors, but you're not racing to the bottom. It's such a
No,
smart part of the market you guys sit in. So,
it's
so
smart.
go on.
And I can tell you,
Mm,
Nick, when it's not smart is that
mm,
manufacturing, designing, handcrafting your own product is
yeah,
not easy. It is
yeah.
not easy
I
at
can imagine you've
all.
made some terrible mistakes with some
Oh
of the
my gosh, I
designs
could
and
tell you some funny
use cases you
stories.
couldn't predict, and yeah, yeah.
So it's not easy. So I wouldn't
Mm,
recommend everyone do it because it's another, I recommend do it if you've got some experience or if you got a passion for it or if you're willing to do whatever it takes to do it right.
yeah.
But when you can do that, you really separate yourself because there's hardly any brands in the world right now that do that.
Mm,
It's really difficult to name almost any brand that truly manufactures and markets and sells their own product, distributes their own
yeah, yeah,
product.
yeah.
It's really hard
Amazing.
to find them.
Yeah. And so I mean, you've already hinted at, and I mentioned with the amount of customers you've had, the review ratings you've got, you have a lot of repeat customers. Some of them, as you say, have spent thousands with you. They're very loyal. They love the products. But how do you find new customers? Because obviously some will churn, some have now bought their last product. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of running a business. How do you guys acquire new customers? What channels do you use to do that?
Well, to keep it simple, I think you show up in the right places.
Okay.
Um, you mentioned about earlier, how can you afford to call your customers? Well,
Mm,
one of the advantages of that is it makes a distinct impression on a person.
yeah.
And do you think they're going to tell their friends or other people they run into about this great company? I can't believe I got a call from them because I had a
Yeah.
question or a problem or something like that. So word of mouth is big.
Mm,
Returning customers who refer other returning customers. Others happen because somebody bought a product and they happen to run a company and they want 100 duffel bags for
yeah.
their
Nice.
customers or for the employees for Christmas, and that
Those are the
happens
best kind of
routinely.
phone calls, aren't they? It's like, which product
That's
you
kind
want?
of
Well, I want
phone calls.
100 of them. It's like,
I want
great.
100 of them.
Yeah.
We also try to be very generous, which
Mm,
means there are some really wonderful nonprofits out there doing great work that are
mm.
close to our heart, and we support them. We help them
Nice.
out with product
Yeah.
and things like that, and that gets us in front of the right people. We
Mm,
know our avatars, so to speak, who it is,
yep.
and then also we do paid ads as well.
Mhm.
Okay. And we do that on Pinterest and Facebook and
Mm.
places like that.
So very
And then,
visual platforms, I guess, work well for your sort of product, don't they? Mm,
exactly. Visual platforms,
nice.
experiential. And the thing about Pinterest that's really kind of cool, not that Pinterest is a huge channel for us, but again, Pinterest is just a big referral board.
Yeah, yeah.
People see your board and they go, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Where'd you
I like
find
that.
that? And
Pin
it
it.
goes through.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pin it, and it lives forever. It
Mm,
lives forever. It's not like a Facebook ad that stops
mm.
serving as soon as you
It's
stop
very true.
paying. It continues, and it's a referral, somebody else speaking wonderfully about your brand. So
Mm.
that's a big thing. And then, of course, the other SEO stuff and all of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
All the
also
stuff
are
that I do. Yeah.
in. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. We
Yep.
we also are in about 400 different smaller, typically boutique. We're not in any big box stores, but we're in,
Okay.
several hundred
Yeah, yeah.
boutiques across the country. Some of them have been working with us for years
Mm.
and years, since almost the very beginning.
but that fits your brand, doesn't it? If you were in Target or Walmart, it'd be like, what are these guys doing here? Like, and you'd suddenly be selling tons of them. And I guess the thing with your product as well is there's always sort of two types of product I find that do well. One is the like, I mean, this water bottle I bought on Amazon, I saw
Yes.
two of them at meetings yesterday in London alone. That same brand,
Yeah,
they're
exactly. Right.
one of Amazon's best sellers, right? So either it's a
Right.
product that everybody wants and everyone wants to get hold of, or it's a luxury item nobody's ever heard of, no one's ever come into contact with, and suddenly they see their best friend or somebody at the train station or on a plane with that product. And that's where it becomes an
Yes.
exclusive luck. It's where Rolex have done so well, is you can't just buy a Rolex. And actually, if you've been
Right.
found to sell a Rolex on eBay or something, you're banned from buying Rolexes from now on. Like that's the way Rolex works. And I mean, I'm not
Right.
really into watches, but a friend of mine is, and
Of
that's
course.
how it works. So
Right.
I think you guys being in those boutique stores, being on Pinterest and more visual platforms, it makes a lot of sense rather than just trying to sell as
It
many as
does.
possible on Amazon or eBay. Like it's just not the market for you, is it?
No, no, no. We were actually on Amazon in the very, very early stages of the
Okay.
business, like 9 or 10 years ago, and
Mm.
we left for that very same reason.
It's a brave
It
decision.
just
A lot of people see the numbers and go, "We can't leave this." That's a brave decision, but clearly a good one.
and again, I think, how could you not? It's
Mm.
like you have to decide what your brand's all about and where they can find you. And Amazon typically is again a race to the bottom for the type of things that
Yeah.
we do. So
Yeah, absolutely. So those
yeah.
are the channels you use to acquire customers. The bigger, and this is probably a much tougher question I've got, is you've got so many things you could say in an advert or you could put on a posting, or so many images of different products or different people with products in different situations that all look incredible. How do you choose what to put where?
Oh my gosh. I think the answer to me is authenticity.
Okay.
You
Yeah, yeah.
know, you're not really trying to follow trends
Mm,
so much as you are. You have to help your target customer. And I hate to use that word, but that's true.
mm.
People
Yeah,
who
yeah.
really are a great fit for your brand, you're a great fit for them. See themselves with your product
Mm,
in the way that they use it. So if it's a cooler, out in the field, sitting next to a river, we have a great photo, it's authentic photo of a guy
mm,
who's sitting on a overturned tree with a dog next to him and a cooler sitting next to him, and he's got his hand right there pulling his drink out of the cooler
mm.
because that's how you're going to use the product.
I love that. I
Other
feel like I'm
pictures
there.
of
Like just even the
you
situation, having looked at your site and your products, you feel like you're in that situation. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I
exactly.
completely
And
agree.
they're authentic. They're not AI
Yeah.
generated.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to be authentic. People can see through that. They have
Mm.
to see themselves as, coming alongside you in this
Yeah, yeah.
relationship.
Yoast have just launched something that is absolutely game changing. Their new AI brand insights tool is now in beta, and it's built to help you track your brand's visibility, sentiment, and credibility across AI platforms like ChatGPT. As search expands from Google to AI answers, this tool gives you a clear view of how your brand shows up, combining sentiment, visibility, and mentions. It's designed for marketers who want enterprise level insight without the enterprise price, less than $400 per year. And here's the best bit. Yoast Black Friday sale is now on. So starting November 27th, you'll get a 30% discount off all annual plans, including the new Yoast SEO AI Plus. Head to yoast.com to learn more and grab your discount. Yeah. I think it's such an important point. And I made a joke on somebody else's podcast a while ago where they sort of said, like, look, you work in advertising, Nick. What images do you put on, what images do you tell your customers to send you to put on Meta or put on Google Display or Google Shopping or whatever?
Mhm, mhm,
And I sort of said, the one that sells the product to the right audience. And I've used this example a few times on the show, but we had a
mm.
client that was constantly trying to sell their really nice, super soft t-shirts, but they were constantly selling them with pictures of people on surfboards or coming off surfboards and putting a soft t-shirt on. Till we did a customer feedback survey. How many of you go surfing? Like none of them. How many of you are interested in surfing? Like none of them. It was like, where do you wear this t-shirt? Normally around a city. Right. It's an urban product and we're
Right.
trying to sell it on a beach. We changed the imagery, conversion rate nearly tripled. It was
Oh,
insane, the
wow.
uplift. And the same thing as well is
Very
like
smart.
going back to the water bottle examples. If you tried to sell me a water bottle because it looked fantastic in a white background image, or the lid opened
Yes.
really, really nicely when it was brand new, I'm about to put this water bottle in my backpack and take it all over the world with me to meetings, on holidays. That water bottle's been on safari in Africa and Kenya with me. Like, actually, I want to see
Yes.
a picture of that being dropped out of a building on a concrete floor. I want to see a video of it being set on fire because I've had it near campfires. I want to see a video of it when
And
it's
then you pick it up, you kinda dust it off, screw the cap back on, and you're back in business.
exactly, and will it survive the
Yes.
dishwasher? Forget the Outback. The dishwasher is the place it really needs to survive. But again, it's that thing of like, and actually this one has, and the reason it has is I deliberately bought one on Amazon that had thousands of reviews, so I could find one that had enough reviews of where it was used. So I completely echo what you say about putting the product in the right
Yes.
location. You're selling you need to sell what somebody's life is going to be like with the product, not the functions of the product itself. Because every t-shirt's the same, but every time I put it on, even if I'm sitting in an office, I want to feel like I'm traveling. If it's a travel related t-shirt, or
Yes.
I want to feel like I'm at the gaming convention I can't wait to get to on
Yes.
Saturday because it's got Minecraft or something on the t-shirt and I'm allowed to wear it at work. It's that people want to wear things and engage with products that make them feel like they're
They
in their
do.
happiest place. And I think you've nailed it
And
then with the cooler by by the river.
spot on, Nick. Spot
Mm,
on, Nick. And the longer you have it, we have a saying is that the first day the first day you receive our product is the worst it will ever look.
love that. That's cool.
The longer you have it, the better it
Mm.
will look, the more it will become part of you. And we say better update your will because somebody's going to want this after you go,
Yeah, yeah.
which it's kind of interesting. We got a couple of pieces of feedback about that during
Mm.
COVID, during the pandemic
Yeah,
about,
of
oh,
course.
that's very uncaring. Update your
You
will.
say the
Uh,
longer we're in business, the more we learn. It's
we
like
talk,
first
and we
first
said,
pandemic you worked through, yeah.
that's right. And very kindly, we said, well, we're talking about your product and
Mm.
not about you. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
people get that. That's the thing you'll learn over time is that you'll go into your company thinking you know exactly what your company is about and how people are
Right.
going to
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Over time, it becomes what your people think about your business and how they
Mm,
know you. And if those reviews that you're getting or not getting are not reflective of what
mm,
your mission is and how you're trying to promote yourself, then you need to really question that and go,
mm,
wow, are we getting any customer reviews on our customer service,
mm.
right? Are we getting any customer reviews on how great the product looks or how long it lasts? Or,
Yeah, yeah.
if you're not getting that, that tells you that something's
Mm.
wrong,
I find most
I
brands
think.
don't even look at their customer reviews. So the fact you're
Oh
now
my
talking
gosh.
about types of reviews and the content of them is fantastic.
How could you not, Nick?
I know, I know, I know. I mean, we've been using. I spoke about this on the show a few weeks ago.
Uh,
I do a little Tuesday episode. If anyone's come across Chuck and myself today and gone, what is this bright pink podcast I found? I do a Tuesday show called Nick's Tuesday Tea Break Talks, partly because all of you guys in the US, you love the fact I'm British and drink tea. It's like,
right,
well,
right,
I'm going to
right,
play on
right.
that. I listen to the reviews from all of you guys across the pond. Although we call it the Atlantic, we call it the pond. But I think that one of the things I talk about with these agentic audiences, where actually you say to an AI, go and use the
Mm,
site and tell me what you learned. What customer groups? Put them in 3, 4, 5, 10 camps. What are the different customers you think this business is targeted at, or who would come on here? But use all the power of AI's knowledge. Don't just tell me who you think we're targeting. Tell me who you think actually comes here to buy, and then go back to the site as each group and find emotional problems and friction points and find technical problems and friction points and start to tell me what's going on. What I love that you're doing is we do that because some of the brands we work with don't talk enough to their customers, or actually we just need a quick answer. Something's been redesigned. It has to go live tomorrow because of a technical issue. It's got to go live quickly, but we've got an hour to put our hat in the ring. And it's like, that's a fast way we can get some feedback using the power of everyone who's ever spoken about this business, and the AI has already got that information. And now it applies it into
right,
a specific question about, what's the issue with this new form we've designed, or what's the issue, what might be the issue with us changing the color of the add to cart button. It says, actually, I think most of your audience are visually impaired and you're putting a yellow button on a white background. It should be red or
mm,
dark blue or black. You need to have a strong contrast. Because most of your audience are of this age, this demographic, or you're a glasses company. Everybody comes on here to buy a pair of glasses.
yes,
They have
right,
sight problems. Make it big, make it
yes,
easy.
make it easy, yes,
Exactly. And so we've been using agentic audiences a bit for that. The fact that I was going to ask a question of what are some of the most important things you've actually got from your review content, and you've just explained that, which I think is incredible. Have there been any moments as the business has grown, either because of customer feedback or something has happened internally or a product you design. Have there been any big moments where you kind of look back and you go, that day was a massive change for us? Like we really changed direction and course and quite quickly because of something that happened. Like obviously COVID, I think it's a good example. But were there any things you guys learned and you suddenly were like, we need to change a lot. We need to change a lot here because of this learning?
Well, COVID, you mentioned the pandemic.
Mm,
That was a defining moment, I think, for a lot of companies,
mm,
either defining from a great perspective or not a great
yeah.
perspective. And what we saw, it was affirmation of the fact that during the pandemic here in the US, part of the thing that happened was besides retailers not being able to open,
Mm,
that was huge. We actually reached out to a number of retailers we had. We did a full assessment of the top retailers that we had and went and looked at their websites and said, do they have a website?
yeah.
Do they have a website that it's just not a billboard they can actually sell on, and how
Mm,
good is it? And we actually reached out to them and tried to start working with them to help them with that. We kind of fashioned
mm,
ourselves a bit of a Shopify. I wouldn't say expert. We're pretty good at what we do.
yeah, yeah.
And so we said, let's help you because we know you're closed. We know you're struggling. You need to be able to sell online, and we can work with you. You
Mm.
know, we can even implement drop shipping with you,
That is one
so
of the
you don't even have
smartest
to
things
go
I've
into
heard
your
all week.
store
Yeah, that's amazing.
just to help.
Mm,
Some retailers took us up on it. Other retailers didn't, and it told us something about them as well. Where
mm.
we're going to stay the course no matter what. And quite honestly, some of them are not in business anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
of course.
so we learned some things. So people had to stay home. They had to go somewhere to shop, and everybody's, I would say everybody's, most every website's traffic skyrockets during
Mm.
this time because people are still shopping.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus the fact that the U.S. government helped out its citizens by sending them some checks and some money and things like that, and they had some money to spend.
Mm,
So we saw a big increase of recognition on
mm,
the internet because of that. So that was, I wouldn't say it was a defining moment, but it was a big moment for us. It helped us level up to the next level.
mm,
In general, though, what I would say, Nick, is that I have found over being in this business for quite a while now
mm,
that it's not the macro big pivots that make a
mm.
difference in your business. It's the
Yeah.
continual micro pivots that you make, the
Mm,
adjustments that you make to improve your website experience, improve your conversion, um, get in front of the customers who really want your product and will be repeat buyers. This continual
mm.
improvement. For us, the continual improvement of website images. When we first started the company, we had mostly white background images,
Mhm.
and by the way, we take our own product photography as well.
Yeah, which again is a
So
really
we have
powerful place to be. Yeah, yeah.
it is because it can get
Mm.
quite expensive not to do it unless you're
Yeah,
using AI, and then there's a can be an element of phoneness about that, I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
you'd say.
And there's a risk of that
Um,
AI doing it wrong and just not understanding what it's trying to achieve, and
Not
no
understanding
amount of messaging it
exactly.
back saying, "Do this, do this, do this," will actually achieve what it wants.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, 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 no. So
What have they done? They've ruined
exactly.
all of it.
So we did a lot of white background to begin with,
Mhm.
but then what we did was, believe it or not, we actually found some customers who reached out to us and said, "I'm a photographer. What would you like for me to make some photography for you?" And we said,
Wow.
"Great." And
Yeah.
we found some guys, and one guy I'm thinking of in particular, Eric, is incredible.
Mm.
So what we started doing was adding a lot more lifestyle images with people in those images on the
Mhm.
website, and we started leading with them. So now we have a combination of the lifestyle imagery and the white background product, so people can actually, when they kind of are attracted to your product, they can actually
Mhm.
dive in and go, well, let me take a look at the stitching on this, or the leather that they use, or how well
So
this is
good.
made, or the
Yeah.
functionality. So I think you have to have both, right?
Mhm.
So we started learning, and that's just an example of more and more things we started doing on our website
Mhm.
to grow our business, and then be able to connect with other stores through tools like Shopify Collective, and
Yeah, yeah.
before they had Collective, we used another app to be able to connect stores in the background,
Mm.
so you can help them, meet their business goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that.
So
And I think that when you start to do the maths, if you go, actually, if we found like, if we just had to make a 1% impact or a 1% uplift with 50
yes,
things, And you times,
Yes.
it's not, because it's not 50%, it's cumulative. So it's 1.01 times 1 point, well, yeah,
Yes.
1.01 times by another zero point zero 0.01 plus another
Yes.
zero point 0.1. And you keep adding that together. By the time you've done 50 things, you're well over double. And it's like, it's the same
Yes.
with financial investments, is that cumulative build. I love that though, because I do think some businesses, they get so caught up in, like, it gets to a point where it's like, our business is 30% in the loss. Now we need something dramatic. And it's like, actually, if we've just been constantly, we're not trying to get the
Yes.
ROI on our advertising from 5 to 8. We're trying to get it from 5 to 5.2. And then
Yes.
once, and if that takes a month, great. If it takes 3 months, great. Once we're there, then we're going to get to 5.3 and 5.4. And we just kind of keep
Yes.
nudging it up. In a year, and you play the long game, don't you? In a
Yes.
year or two, where are we
You
going
play
to
the long
be?
game. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Continual improvement. How
Yeah,
can we do it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better?
yeah.
So
Amazing.
absolutely. It's a continual, almost seemingly endless
Mm.
journey of that when you're online.
Yeah, yeah. And I think one of the hardest parts, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. And again, you mentioned something very briefly earlier, and I thought we're going to come back to this. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in business is that the more I humble myself and I don't know what I don't know, the faster my
Yes.
company is growing. And that's from giving people a KPI instead of an instruction, and just saying, here's what we need to achieve. What do you need? You must, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You must have had some similar situations. So I have, over the last sort of 15, nearly 20 years I've been doing this, where you've just kind of gone, like you say, you come in the morning with like a, we're doing this is how it's going to work. If you flip it on its head and be open to the fact that if you're 100% wrong, you're actually quite close to the solution now. You're exact opposite to the solution. You're not in the murky bit in the middle.
I
But
love that.
it sounds like the same for you, of
Yeah.
just like, right, our photography, we don't know anything about this. Let's start doing it ourselves. Let's see how we can tweak it, how we can improve it, and let's watch what the data does. Let's ask customers, do you prefer this one or this one? And they're unanimous. It kind of doesn't matter what we care. You must have had so much of that over over your journey as well so far.
Nick's spot on. Spot
Mm.
on. I had a 18-year corporate career before I left to start my own business coaching
Wow.
practice that ultimately led me into this. Okay.
Mm.
So long story short, what I learned is positively challenge your team to achieve certain results.
Mm.
And as long as it's ethically, morally, legally, all those things right,
Mm.
don't tell them how to do it.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
the results that we need. We need to go from here and here to there, and then help me understand what your thoughts on
Mm.
how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And then my job as alongside that is to what I call curate. In other
Mm.
words, filter out the noise.
Mm.
So much noise going on there.
Oh,
In
yeah, yeah,
fact,
yeah.
with our marketing team and I, we were talking last Thursday, and we were looking at different metrics and things like that.
Mm.
Everybody's looking at, revenue, net
And
sales,
everyone's
you
got a
got
slightly different idea of,
conversion rate.
if I improve my
Exactly.
stat, everything will be better. And you're like, no, it won't, for these reasons. Like,
No,
we
it
need
won't.
to agree. We need to agree what the
We need
KPI
we
is.
need to agree.
Yeah.
And we agreed. I said, so of all these metrics, I said, it's the old Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People thing.
Mm.
Stephen, I love Stephen. Stephen said
Yeah,
once, he
yeah, he's
said,
good.
some things matter. Yeah. Other things matter more. But what matters most is to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
So as we looked through all those metrics, I said, out of all these metrics, which one matters most? And we had a nice little lively debate. Well, it's this
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's
this, and
good.
these all matter. And I said, yeah, they all matter, but which one matters most at the end of the day?
Mm.
It might be 0.5% difference, but which matters?
Yeah.
And we agreed, yeah, this is the metric at the end of the day really matters most. And
Mm.
now let's talk about the relationships these other metrics have to help drive that.
Yep.
And then we talked about if you focus on them independently and how it works. So my job is not to tell them how to do their jobs. It's the results you said that you want to achieve. And then I think as the key leader in the organization, remove as much noise as I can
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we can all focus on what matters the most.
Yeah, I think as an agency as well, we get the delight of looking at. I have a thing called an ECG, which my wife's medical. ECG is a heart rate monitor. So I have a thing
Yeah.
called an ECG internally, and it's all my SEO clients, all my PPC clients on. It's a few pages, but it's one big dashboard. And I just at least once, maybe twice a week, go through the whole thing. And I'm like, hey, how did you? Like, and they're the stats on our website. How did you get a 240% revenue uplift in 6 months? So like, it wasn't complicated actually. it was a lot of work, but it was a simple thing again and again and again across the whole site. I'm like, right, we need that in a case study. And then suddenly other people in the room are going, I need that for one of my clients. What did you do? And so you
Right.
see how the shared learnings.
Yes.
I love what you've just described.
Yes.
I think it's really, really powerful.
I love that shared
Yeah.
learning thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Well, look, we'll come into land here. It's been amazing talking with you, chat. I suddenly glanced at the time and I'm like, where has 40 minutes gone? But
Oh my
amazing
gosh,
having you
yeah.
on. If people are listening, going, you guys sound like the most incredible organization. I want to see these products, see this photography. I want to read some of these reviews. I want to see who these customers are. How can people reach out? What's the website? Give us a quick overview of your actual product range. What's your favorite product? If someone's like, I want to try one of these products, like which one should
Oh my
people go for
gosh. That's
first?
like asking me which is your favorite kid. Um,
True. Except I didn't ask that.
you can't tell them in front of it, so I need to clear all the other leather goods out, and I need to have one here, and I say, "You're really my baby. You're really my favorite."
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I'll
sure.
share some of that. You
Love that.
reach us first of all, missionmercantile.com. And mercantile is MERCANTILE,
Mhm.
missionmercantile.com. Um, I think if you Google too, just Google Mythical Customer Care, and we'll
Mm,
pop up right there at the top, Mythical Customer Care.
nice.
So missionmercantile.com. If you reach out to us, you can reach out, of course, email, phone, text, carrier pigeon, whatever those things
Love
are.
that.
And in fact, one of the things we did that is not really that expensive for us, we have a live text, not an AI bot, but a live text option on mobile where there'll be a pop up and it says chat with us live, and there's a real person there, an
Mm,
actual real person there, like I think there's 16, 17 hours a day coverage that we have where you can chat with us. And if it's more than they can answer, then they hand it over to kind of the next up person in our
nice.
customer care to help
Yeah, yeah.
out. So that's how you reach out to us and all that. Um, Range of products. Oh, and by the way, it's interesting. Sometimes
Mm,
our email team will send out emails from me personally. And actually, it is from me personally.
yeah, yeah.
And my personal email address will be on there. And then often I'll reply with my cell phone so people can
Mm,
call me if they have a question. And sometimes we
nice.
just talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Range of products. Our leather shop, we made for dozens of brands,
Mm,
big brands like Pendleton and Lucchese and Buffalo Jackson, a lot of different brands. King Ranch, we made for a lot of different brands.
mm,
Huckberry is a great
nice.
client of ours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we love making for them. So we garner the expertise of making their products of, you know, so many things we can make. Our
Mhm.
range of products on the website go from a key ring all the way up to a large rolling duffel. It's the breadth, and it's backpacks and briefcases and desk caddies and all of that, belts, wallets. But it's also, we have categories like we call it hunting and outdoor. So if you need a nice case for your
Mm,
shotgun, we provide that, or shell bag. Coolers, we
yeah,
sell
yeah.
leak-proof
Nice.
coolers. So it's a pretty wide
So cool.
range,
So cool.
and
Yeah, yeah.
it's a pretty wide range of budget that'll fit your budget as well.
Mm. Amazing. Well, look, Chuck, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for running such an amazing business. It's been honestly a pleasure,
Oh,
like hearing about
thank
what
you.
you're doing and the way you do it. I've been taking loads of notes. I hope everyone else at home has as well, and I'm sure some people reach out. So thank you so much. Appreciate your time and for joining us on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. And Nick, I want to stay in touch with you as well.
Yeah,
So let's
definitely,
make
definitely.
sure we do that.
I
Okay.
love that. When I click stop in a sec, we'll have a quick chat. And for everybody else at home, yeah, please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave us a review. The reviews are some of them are amazing. One of them's not amazing and was quite hurtful. But it's there and it's fine. I can take it.
But it was
Um,
helpful, right?
it was helpful and hurtful. Yeah, they're very similar words.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, thank
Yeah.
you so much for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, join us again on Tuesday for my tea break talks. I'm having little rants about different bits and pieces in the marketing world every week. Although my wife told me to stop calling them rants, so I'm sharing some knowledge on things that are frustrating me. But yeah, we're back again next Friday with another guest as well. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you can join us again soon. And again, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave us a review, and go and check out our newsletter on the website. See you next time. This episode of Winning with Shopify is brought to you by TaxCloud. It's the busiest time of year for e-commerce. Your store's buzzing, orders flying in, and growth is at an all-time high. But with all that momentum can come new sales tax exposure that you might not even see coming. That's why now is the perfect time to take a closer look at how you're handling sales tax and make sure your business is set up for the growth that you've earned. TaxCloud is our trusted partner for sales tax compliance, built for growing Shopify brands. They handle regulations, filings, and ongoing compliance, working directly with the states on your behalf across the US, so you can stay focused on running your store. They got a 5-star rating in the Shopify App Store, and listeners of Winning with Shopify get free migration onboarding when you make the switch. To apply for that and learn more, you can go to taxcloud.com/winning. That's taxcloud.com/winning.